the munchies. They have the munchies.
You want burgers, hot dogs, some chicken, and ribs. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So best recipe for cooking human. Go.
Garlic, salt, onion powder, garlic, onions. Why do I keep only thinking of garlic and onions? Paprika, seasoned salt, pepper.
Damn, you burnt it. You burnt the human leg. You stupid cow. You think if we did all eat other humans, like we were all cannibals in real life, we would have like cooking shows like that where they're like cooking like human heads and shit, and Gordon Ramsay's yelling at people because of it?
Probably. As a human race, yes.
Hell's Kitchen would take on a different meaning. Anyway, why are we talking about cannibalism today? I fucked that word up immediately right off the bat. Well, welcome to Night of the Horror File, a horror movie and genre film podcast where we take a horror movie and genre film and show it to my beautiful wife, Brittany, who then gives us her input. Sometimes she enjoys these things and sometimes she doesn't. Sometimes it leaves a bad taste in her mouth. I wonder what today's will.
Did you have to use that pun?
I do. I feel like I'm going to be using cannibalism puns this entire fucking episode.
Can you say that word, though?
Cannibalism?
Uh-huh.
Cannibalism. I think I tried to say cannabis earlier. And it just,
not the same thing.
Cannabislism? Cannabislism.
How many times are you
or something? I don't know.
Canna-lesbian.
Canna-lesbians.
Yes, the answer is always yes.
Always cans a lesbian. Anyway.
Yeah.
Wow, we're goofy as shit today. But anyway, yes, we're talking about cannibalism for a reason. What did we watch this week?
The Green Inferno.
That's right, The Green Inferno from 2000, I think 14, 15. I can't remember. It came out in different countries, different days. But 2013, I believe, is when we got this here. So we are finally getting to another Eli Roth movie. You know?
But there's a problem with this one.
Okay.
I already have issues with this
Now, I know
one.
you mentioned this, but Eli Roth is in a cameo in this movie in the very back. So
that's not close enough to me.
You need him.
And I didn't see his dick. I'm going to need it all. Okay. Where's the Eli Roth porn?
Well, if we ever meet Eli Roth in person, I'll be sure to share that info. Hey, she really wants to see your dick.
Okay,
we'll
you
get
could
escorted
not
out
do that.
of the convention. Anyway,
it'd be nice if you did not.
I won't do that. But today we get a bit further into his filmography. We're skipping a few movies here because I really, really wanted to talk about. I feel like this movie's overly hated. I mean, if anything, I feel like Eli Roth in general is overly hated. I don't know. I vibe with all his movies. I don't understand the hate, but that's okay. And no one can give me a clear reason why they hate him. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like the same hate they throw at Quentin Tarantino. Like, nobody can really give me a fleshed out reason.
Then why do you hate?
See, that's what I mean. That's what I always want. I'm not calling people who dislike his movies liars or anything like
they're
that.
Liars. No,
but I don't understand it, because you get the same people who will watch what today's movie is definitely a throwback to, like Cannibal Holocaust. You get the same people who love that movie, but then they're like, Eli Roth's movie sucks. And it's like, this is like a newer one of those movies. I don't understand.
Right.
But yeah, we're talking about The Green Inferno. So I think a lot of people go into the theaters they probably were kind of taken aback by a tribute to Italian cannibal films of the 1970s and early 80s.
Oh, yeah.
I could see going there and not really knowing what he's going for and being really turned off by this movie. Because I don't know. I feel like, and I'm probably going to get a lot of fucking swear words on Twitter over this, but I feel like this is a better one of those. This feels good. I like this movie. Lots of excitement and shit like that. But anyway, so if you're a diehard fan of those films, those Italian cannibal films, you already know that the title of this movie is an homage or a throwback to The Green Inferno, which was the English title for Cannibal Holocaust 2, as well as being the working title of Ruggero Deodato's original.
Say that again.
Ruggero Deodato.
I'm just playing.
We all know I'm famous at mispronouncing that, so I'm pretty sure I mispronounced Ruggero's name there. So anyway, so when you're like me, you see that title and immediately know what you're getting into. You know, as soon as he announced the title to this movie, I was like, oh, I know what you're doing. You know, because everybody's like, what could it be? And I was like, oh, no, I know.
Because you study these things. And
Yeah. I've seen all these. I love the Italian cannibal movies. They're just so fucking raw and gross and weird, and they don't seem to have a reason to exist. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Oh, wait a second. Is this like a horror version of a spaghetti western, but it's actually just like a cannibal western?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Because you said it was Italian.
No.
Oh. I was trying to be funny.
No, it's okay. It was funny.
You don't understand.
I don't.
Okay, spaghetti
it's
western.
It's not a spaghetti western.
Okay, I know it's not a spaghetti western. I know it's not a spaghetti western.
I immediately saw Clint Eastwood in the fucking jungles, like running from cannibals.
No, I know it's not a spaghetti western.
Goddamn cannibals.
I know it's not a spaghetti western.
If only I had my chair
Will
here.
you let me talk?
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
But you said it was an Italian.
Mm-hmm.
And an Italian movie we would call a spaghetti western if it was a western, whatever. But instead of spaghetti that they're eating, oh wait, it doesn't make sense because that's where the Italian comes in. Never mind.
I was like,
I
spaghetti.
See, now I get it. Now I get why it doesn't make sense.
I was like, you know, most of the spaghetti westerns, they didn't actually eat spaghetti in, right?
So what if it's like spaghetti cannibalism? Cannibalistic spaghetti.
I'm sorry.
Never mind.
I'm sorry.
I was getting it confused. Never mind. I'm just going to shut up.
I have a picture of Clint Eastwood angrily eating spaghetti. Just anyway.
Does he do anything happily?
I don't think so. I think the guy's perpetually pissed off. I saw him smile once in a movie and it scared the fuck out of me. It had actually been a while since Eli Roth was in the director's chair. His last film he directed before this was Hostel 2. And so this movie, oh, by the way, this movie technically serves as part 3 of his Travel and Punishment trilogy.
Oh.
Yeah, because it started with Hostel 1, then it went on to Hostel 2, and then this. It's all about people going out of their elements and getting fucked up. Have you seen any bits of Hostel or anything like that?
Mm-mm. All I know is there's nurses.
Yeah. A lot of people say that like Eli Roth started the torture porn subgenre, but I don't feel like he did. Because all his stuff is kind of like today's feature. It which doesn't feel like it's for shock's sake so much. I mean, it's there. He's going to shock you with it, but at the same time, it's not, I don't know. I feel like it's better deployed than like, say, your Saw franchise. You
right,
know what I mean?
right.
It's, yeah, we're just going to go watch people in mascara cry for 30 minutes. It's not really like that. But anyway, yeah, so he hadn't directed anything, a feature film since Hostel 2. I think he was doing other things. But this film was shot entirely on location in Chile, the Peruvian Amazon, and New York City for the city shots and stuff like that, and when they're in the States. And what really gives this film its character is that part of the Amazon. And of course, it's people, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Besides the American crew, almost everyone you see in the tribe is an actual member of a real indigenous tribe that Eli Roth found while he was scouting along the I'm going to mispronounce this, you guys, the Hualaga River. Which is the same river that Werner Herzog had apparently shot Wrath of God, I believe. But what he did was he went a little further than that, though. And as he was floating along, he saw a hut on the side that looked exactly like what he envisioned. And so he asked his production crew to pull over, you know, and they got out and some people came out and greeted them and stuff. In fact, the girl that helps our main character in this movie, Justine, she was the first one he saw, and they ended up casting her in that role.
What girl? That little girl?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
With the whistle and stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway. But yeah, this turned out to be the Kalaniaku. Woo, I'm from Oklahoma. I apologize to you guys. But they have like little outside contact with the world aside from like the occasional supply boat and maybe just some people coming by. There was a rumor that while they were shooting this, that like a boat of like missionaries came by. They were singing and stuff, and fucking they saw all the gory props and stuff and just kept going.
Nope, not today.
Roll them up. But yeah, Roth knew he had found the perfect cast, you know. But problem is, these people have never seen they didn't have any electricity really, and they'd never seen a movie, and so. Or even had the concept of what a movie was. Right. Like, that's what's wild. Like, you got to think about, like, not even knowing what the hell that could be even mean. You know, because they said, like, the tribe, the people there were, like, so, they were so taken aback that, like, these people made a living off of dressing up and playing pretend. Oh. Like, they were like, wow. They just were flabbergasted by that. But so the production crew, you know, Eli Roth went back and told them about everything and stuff like that. And the production crew went back, brought a generator and a TV and set everybody down to teach them what a movie was. And, you know, Eli Roth is thinking, oh, what are they showing them? Like Frozen or something like that, you know, because there's a lot of kids in this village. Yeah. No, the production company decided, hey, let's show 1980s Cannibal Holocaust.
Hey, this is about people like you.
Which, I mean, good on them. I guess that makes sense, you know, because that's the movie they're going to shoot, and they want them to be prepared for it. Right. Now you'd think they might be offended, you know. Mm-hmm. Eli Roth even said, you know, there's kids there. Are you sure you showed them? Sure you wanted to do that? But the opposite of what you might think happened, the Kaliniaku thought it was the funniest thing they'd ever fucking seen. They were immediately down for it. They were, and everybody wanted to be a cannibal.
Hell yeah. This is the way the world sees us. Hell yeah.
Let's do this. Which is funny because, like, there was some controversy, which you just mentioned. This is the way the world sees us. Mm-hmm. There was some controversy about that I'll talk on later that I kind of disagree with. And I'm not an indigenous person, so I can't say who can get offended and who doesn't need to be offended. You know, I think that's the wrong way to go. Right. But I don't feel like a Hollywood movie is really going to affect or dissuade any of these companies from going in there and clearing those things out. I think they have their own motivations, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, Eli went really fucking full hardcore with this film shoot. The Peruvian jungle, they're out in the middle. They got no trailers, no anything. They had to work around fluctuating weather, which would go from like clear skies to torrential downpours, bugs all the times.
I watched enough Survivor.
Yeah, thick layers of bugs. Yeah. Spiders, tarantulas were a common occurrence, and other wildlife. Plus, Roth had to make it mandatory for everyone cast to get inoculated against yellow fever. Yeah. Yeah, and he said that no one came unscathed. but apparently it was a beautiful country and stuff like that. And Roth said that like he really did fucking enjoy the fact that like he would wake up, get a nice Amazon sunrise, and he was like, and no cell phones. He was like, it was lovely. But anyway, without further ado, let's dive into The Green Inferno from 2013.
So we start off in this beautiful rainforest,
you know,
where Leigh is being roasted on a spit, and these people are just coming up and taking bites out of him.
Man, I'm telling you, I'd be a real succulent meal for these people. Like, you just think about it. I got all this like nice layer of fat, but also got that like farm muscle underneath the fat. So, you know, I'm probably fucking marbled like a juicy ass steak. Just fucking, I'd want a bite of me. Like keep me alive long enough to get a taste.
Oh my God, no. Would
Cook
you?
my legs first.
Would you?
If they were going to kill me and eat me, I would at least want them to keep me alive long enough to eat myself. Like, I want to taste. Like, that's unfair. Like, at least let me eat some.
If you, like, had a doctor friend, okay? Mm-hmm. If you had a doctor friend and he said, okay, I'm going to cut this little chunk out of your leg and we're going to sew it up. Like, you're going to be safe. Like,
you know, a guy did that, right? A guy did that as an experiment to see what human meat tastes like. He said it tasted like a Irish beef stew.
That sounds disgusting.
I like Irish
would
beef
you
stew.
do it?
Yeah, of course. That sounds awesome.
Would you cook it?
Well, I'd probably have somebody prepare it for me because I feel like,
Would you let Gordon Ramsay do it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I bet he could dress that up with some like nice creme fraiche or something like that. Just like make it all jazzy. Be delicious. Just sitting there. And thanks for cooking my leg, Gordon Ramsay.
Thanks for cooking.
Today we're cooking succulent Lee's leg. All right, here we go. In the pan, oil, garlic, little butter sauce.
Oh my God. He would probably get the bread and put it on your face and be like, "You're an idiot sandwich."
But yeah, so you have seen Cannibal Holocaust. We
Yes.
did a commentary over on Patreon on that. So if you guys want to go check that out, it's over there. But you saw Cannibal Holocaust and you were not rocked by it as much as other people. Because a lot of people find that movie real hard to watch.
I don't remember them eating people.
Well, they eat some people. They don't really show it too much, but they're eating people and shit like that. But
Right.
the biggest part that really turns people off about that is not only the violence and there's like a rape scene that seems a little unnecessary.
Oh, yeah.
And also, but also like the fucking, the turtle scene.
yeah.
The animal eating thing.
Eating animals is not a surprise to me. I eat animals every day.
True. I guess,
Do I eat turtles? No.
Nah, not really.
But is it a shock to me that people in other countries do? No.
I think that's the thing. I think that's the, I hated to say this, but when Joe Bob Briggs hosted this Cannibal Holocaust on the show, you had a lot of people online saying, "Isn't it? Oh, this is too hard to watch, and this is real hard. Like, why would they do that to it?" So the story goes that they killed that turtle and everybody ate it, and villagers were going to eat it anyway.
Right.
So the thing is, like, I feel like it's a real privileged situation to sit there and be like, why are they killing that? Why are they eating animals like that over there?
Because that's the animals that are there
it seems
to
like
eat.
It seems like you're in a real privileged area to say something like that. So you might want to check yourself a little bit.
What about the cows and the chickens that we fucking breed
these people do have to eat.
Right.
Even this movie this movie has a lot of messages I wasn't expecting to have. Even though you watched Cannibal Holocaust, it also has a kind of message,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the biggest one being we should keep our fucking noses out of people's business.
Why are we bothering people?
Yeah.
Why? Why are we fucking bothering?
We should definitely leave these fucking tribes alone, or like these people that don't want any outside contact and are very happy where they are. We should just fuck off.
Yes.
Like what was it that fucking missionary that got loaded full of arrows when he tried to encounter that island of people?
Good.
Remember that?
No, I don't remember that, but good.
Oh man, people were like, "Oh, isn't it sad? How do we get the body back?" And like everybody's like, "We ain't. We're not.
No.
We're leaving them alone."
Why are we bothering people? Why do we care?
We have two reasons why us white people bother people like this, and it's because either one, we got to give them religion, or two, we got to take all the resources. That's the only reason we ever go.
We had to take the resources that they're not using. Like, I hate to say that, but like,
oh, they kill them.
That's so fucking stupid.
That's the problem, and that's the problem with our group of kids we're going to meet in a little bit. The clicktivists is what I like to call them. We'll talk about that in a minute.
But like, leave people alone.
I know. And that's really that's the thought process behind some of these movies. Some of these travel and punishment kind of movies and shit like this is you don't just stop fucking sticking your nose in other people's cultures or every time. And Eli Roth does this in all his movies. These people go there and they don't have a proper education about what this is or where they are or anything. And they just drop themselves in the middle and expect it to be like Disney World. We expect places that aren't America to cater to us like they are America.
Right.
That's like I said, there's your privilege.
They're like, we have to save these people. Save them from what? Save them from what?
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Here's the difference. Well, no, I'll talk about clicktivists in a minute because I'm sure everybody's like, what the fuck is a clicktivist, dude? But there are real legitimate reasons why you would visit and you would try to save them is because to keep us from killing them. Like we're
Okay,
yeah. That's the legitimate reasons. But I don't think missionaries should go to places that have their own cultures and stuff like that, because that's called colonialism, colonics, colonics.
No.
The white colonic. That's what I'm going to call it from now on.
The white colonic.
Because that's what we do. We go there, you know, as missionaries and shit like that. We go to these places and we bring them religion and shit to change their evil ways. And,
Oh my
and
God.
basically what we're doing without even like kind of realizing is we're destroying culture.
Right.
You know, we're destroying other people's lands and culture and shit like that by teaching them how to be more American. Nobody needs to be more American. You
No.
guys. Anyway.
No, I don't get it. Like, I could understand going there and like feeding people.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of organizations that bring those people supplies, you know,
Right.
like medicine and stuff like that. There's a lot of things like that that is, you know,
Which
very
is
generous, yeah.
fine. But leave them alone unless they're asking for help. Why do we care what they're doing in their culture?
Because we decide to police the world.
Well,
That's
yeah.
what the whole thing is.
Yeah. And it's just leave them the fuck alone.
Right.
Just do that.
Just do that.
Just do that.
Just do that.
I feel the same way about animals. Like, we go to these countries and we get these fucking animals and we bring them here and we put them in fucking cages in the fucking zoos and shit. Why? Leave them the fuck alone.
And I know a lot of people have always disagreed with me, and we'll get to the movie in a second, but I've always had a problem with zoos. In the back of my mind, even though, you know, I'll enjoy a good zoo visit, I've always had an issue with zoos. Like, just sheer reason, like, we're just locking these things up to look at them. Like, this seems kind of fucked up. Like when we go to our zoo and we see fucking polar bears don't belong. Luckily,
in fucking
they got rid of the
Oklahoma.
polar bears finally.
Yeah, because they died.
Oh, they died?
Yes.
Oh, I thought they like put them back where they belonged.
No. Once you bring them in,
that was always fucking weird to me as a kid, because I'm like, and this thing's supposed to be in the Antarctica.
Right. And the penguins and stuff, aren't they supposed to be cold? Like,
yeah, this is fucking hot ass.
Yeah, it's 120 degrees.
Oklahoma. Yeah.
But like, no, once you house them in a zoo or whatever, you can't release them back to the wild. Just like our turtle. Yes, we have a turtle. We rescued it. Should we have put it back now? Knowing what I know, yes.
Oh, definitely.
We should have just left it alone and let nature do what nature does. But we could never release our turtle into the wild because it's a domesticated animal now.
Correct. But
it would die in 4 seconds. The other turtles would fuck it to death or something.
Oh, God. We've gotten way off topic.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We're getting real heated here. Real heated.
So we start off in this beautiful rainforest and we see some natives of the land walking around when all of a sudden it's being torn down by stupid Americans.
Logging companies.
Yeah.
So first off, it's important to point out how fucking amazing the cinematography is in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when I told you we were watching an Eli Roth movie and the last movie you watched was Cabin Fever, did you expect this?
Well, no.
Yeah. So whether you vibe with this movie or not, it's gorgeous, especially the rainforest footage. Man.
Oh, yeah.
You could tell the care they took in shooting this movie with this stuff. And Eli Roth had said he felt that the cinematographer Antonio Gocera should have gotten a fucking award for this. And like I said earlier, they went deep into the Amazon. And now no feature film had gone this far to shoot, you know, so a lot of what you see in this movie is kind of rare to see. You know, you won't see this outside of a nature documentary.
Right.
And that's was Eli Roth's goal, you know, give you a movie that you don't see very often. This movie looks more along the lines of a Terrence Malick or specifically Werner Herzog, since I mentioned him already. It kind of looks like a film like theirs, you know, every frame is just meticulously like selected and shown, you know, it's beautiful.
Right.
Which is really kind of refreshing because, you know, like around this time you had Lost and stuff like that, I believe. And that shit's shot in Hawaii or at a fucking sound studio. And so like you see this and you're like, oh, you're really there, you know? And that's the wonders of some of these movies, these Italian cannibal horror films, and this movie too, is like part of the thing that's supposed to scare you is the idea that these people went there. You know, they took a camera here. They're insane.
Oh, right.
You know,
right.
part of that is supposed to give you some tension.
So now we're at a college campus and Justina's she's watching people outside who are starving themselves as some kind of protest. And she's kind of crushing on the leader of the group.
Yeah. Alejandro. Now, the coolest thing that Eli Roth did with this movie is barely anybody in this is a big celebrity. You know, all these people are up and comers and stuff like that, except for a few. You know, John Burke, who plays her dad in a minute, he's been around. He played it in RoboCop 3. But did anybody see RoboCop 3?
I didn't know there was a third one. I never saw the first one.
I was going to say, did you know there was a second?
I knew there was RoboCop, and the only reason I knew there was RoboCop is because my best friend's ex-boyfriend wanted to name their kid Murphy.
Murphy gets torn apart by shotguns.
That's what he wanted to name Max, was Murphy.
That seems weird. That seems like a weird name. You might as well call him RoboCop. That's a little less scary.
Yeah.
Anyway, RoboCop. I'm gonna name my kid RoboCop.
He wanted to name him Murphy Lou. Murphy Lou Reed. Because Lou Reed is like a musician or something?
Yeah, Lou Reed is he's a really good musician actually, but that just annoys me. I'm very annoyed by this name idea. What's really cool about this is you do have a few unknown faces to you know, when you go into this. And I like that about a movie. Right. You know, especially these days. You know, it's hard to find a movie these days, you know, in modern times that has a lot of unknown faces. I mean, you could find one. I was like,
what? I don't know none of these people.
You could find one, but I'm throwing stones and seeing all sorts of people I've seen before. You know, people from The Walking Dead are popping up in movies. You know, people from American Horror Story are all over the place. It seems like the main cavalcade of actors are in Hollywood movies now. And it's nice to see a new face.
Right. So Justine and her friend are in class and they're learning about female circumcision that is happening in other countries. Justine says that maybe her dad, who's a lawyer at the UN, should do something about this. Well, the girls leave class and a guy stops. This guy's name is
Jonah.
I almost said Noah. I was
poor chubby ass Jonah. I swear to God.
He gives Justine a flyer for the protest group from the leader Alejandro. He wanted her to have it. Mm-hmm. He wants her to attend this thing because her dad is the lawyer.
UN, yeah, and we get to
we'll find out more later. Yeah,
but so one of my questions to you is, okay, I'll let you know my feelings on this, but do you like any of these characters?
Maybe only Jonah. Is that his name?
Yeah, Jonah.
I keep wanting to say Noah for some reason.
Yeah, he does look like a Noah, but Jonah's a little innocent. I'll give him that. He seems a little.
I don't like any of the characters.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to, because
and I don't even like Justine.
Yeah, Justine gets better over time.
No. She's just
I think you only really like her at the end. It feels like you only give a shit about her at the end.
And I still didn't.
No. I think that's how it's supposed to be here, because I feel like this is the group of people he's making fun of, is these people that just like, they're half-ass into this kind of shit. You know, they don't go full ass into their protests and shit. It's just whatever the hot button topic is, they just hop around to that. And I'll talk about that more in depth in a minute. But yeah, I'm not big on any of these characters. You know, I do. What he does have to do later on to give you some more tension, though, is to make one character the most grossest evil son of a bitch that possibly could ever live, just so you kind of give a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because if it wasn't for Alejandro being such an asshole, I wouldn't like any of these characters at all.
I know.
And the only reason I like them is because Alejandro is such an ass. Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. Because it's not like, and that's where Eli Roth pulling this off is a little bit more satisfying, because I hate to say it, you guys, but I kind of eat it up when they all fucking get eaten.
Right.
Like, I'm kind of okay with it because these are the people that annoy me the most when it comes to activism.
Well, Justine goes to eat with her dad, and he says that he can't fix all of the world's issues at once. I mean, he doesn't say it like that, but close enough. And he then asks her about this necklace that her mom had made for her. And she says she still has it. She just left it at home. This comes into play later. And they talk about her being a flautist and how she still loves to play, but she wants to focus on college. Basically, he's like giving her shit because she's not playing the flute anymore.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I'm doing such terrible things by going to college, which she's not wrong. Like,
no, yeah.
Like, okay, she could still play the flute, but she wants to do this. I mean, not everybody wants to go to college to play the flute.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird thing to come down on somebody for. It's like, right. Why'd you quit playing the flute? What's all this going to college business? Like,
right.
What? but no. So that scene earlier with the female circumcision. Yeah. Like, was that something you were aware of? I knew about this. I knew about this in other cultures and stuff like that. But I gotta say, I think it's barbaric. I don't agree with it. You know, like where you land on that kind of shit.
I think it's a little barbaric.
Because what's kind of funny is we see that, and I know before I say this, you guys, I'm not equivalating it too much, so don't misconstrue my words. Right. But it's kind of funny that we see that as barbaric, right? Which is female circumcision involves removing the clitoris, so it's a whole different ball game than what I'm about to get into. But we kind of do that with circumcision here, with male circumcision. I mean, we still are cutting pieces off that really shouldn't be cut off. So it's like, it is kind of funny to think about that. Like, this movie, I don't know if anybody else had the same thought process, but it does kind of make me think more about how we see other cultures. And it's a gray area too, because is it really that bad? You know, I mean, it is, it is to us, but it's weird because those cultures, which I think I don't know if they practice this as much anymore. I think in some places they do, but I don't think it's all over the world like it used to be. Right. But anyway, it kind of makes you think, like, am I perceiving that as bad? Is it bad? You know what? It's way. Right. It's way a bunch of shit,
I think, hear me out on this, okay?
Again, it shouldn't be going on. Let me just clear that up. I like the presentation that he gives you here.
Right. But hear me out on this. If I was to say, oh, no, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care that they're doing it if that's what they want to do. Could they do it in a safer manner? Absolutely, because here in America we do circumcisions every fucking day, and every male in this house is circumcised. So I'd be a hypocrite to say no, we shouldn't be doing that. But then I think if they did it in a safer manner, less painful manner, then maybe it would be fine.
I mean, it's not the same. Like, it really is not.
Right.
It would be the same if they were literally just cutting my dick head off when I'm born. Like, that would be the same, but it's not. So,
and they're doing it when these little girls are older and are remembering this and feeling all the pain, and then they're dying because of not proper medical care from this. So do I think they should do it? No. If they knew how to do it medically, and have consent, let's talk about consent here. But we also, there's another flip of that coin too.
It's weird,
is because 13-year-old boys in the Jewish community, they get circumcised when they're 13.
Well, no, that's not what.
Yes.
Usually you're circumcised before that at your bris, which happens at a very young age.
No.
Yeah. You're thinking of a bar mitzvah, which is your process of going into manhood, but it does not involve a circumcision. That's a bris. That happens when you're much younger.
Jennifer's husband, Cody, had his circumcision when he was 13. because of his religion.
That's weird. Like it usually happens at the bris, which is very early on, because remember they had to start breaking down on rabbis for biting the skin off with their teeth.
Ugh.
Yeah, that was a thing for a while.
Want to look this
Yeah,
up.
that's not. I don't know what happened to him, but I don't think it's legal. I don't think that's a thing. I know when you convert, you do get circumcised, but I don't. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, it's the 8th day after birth.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. That's your bris. You know.
Oh.
A bar mitzvah is your process of going into manhood, which is around 13.
Oh, this says. Oh, that's Muslims. Never mind.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing. But
anyway,
but the point is, it's to kind of like challenge how you view other cultures, because and kind of make you think about other cultures, you know, and how they do their processes and stuff. And it's weird because we can't fathom doing that, but for some reason in some cultures that's normal, which is really creepy.
Right.
And so it's just it really gets your mind going.
I just really think it's none of our business. Is it really our business?
You know, I can't say it is.
It's
as
not.
much as I think that's fucking awful. I think we really need to start focusing on shit here before we go. You know, that's my thoughts.
Right.
I don't think it's because it's specifically America that does this shit, and the UN and shit like that, which is other nations. But I really don't think we're supposed to be policing everybody. I don't.
Right.
But anyway.
Do I agree with it? No. But is it any of my fucking business? No. Not any of my business.
But my favorite part is because this girl, Justine, doesn't really understand how things work in the real world. Like she comes to her dad with this. It's like, we do something. He's like, well, that's not something we can do overnight.
Right.
Like,
we can't just go there and
you can't just stop them from doing that. She doesn't really understand. Like, she has this real naive look at everything. You know, like, because her first reaction to this upon hearing what female circumcision is to be like, well, my daddy's in the UN, and you know, like that kind of shit. And so, like, there's about to be a crash course, literally, into what the real world really is.
Oh yeah. So Alejandro holds another one of these activist meetings, and he's talking about how in 2 weeks they're going to go to an untouched jungle in the Peruvian Amazon that is going to be destroyed. And they're going to go there and try to stop the destruction. I almost said destruction. I don't know what I was thinking.
Destruction.
And Justine calls him out and wants to know what they're going to do when they get there. And Alejandro does not like this. He's like, why are you questioning me? You can leave. Which
is funny because you listen to these assholes and the whole time they're not really talking about saving people. Like, yeah, they mention it, but there's something just real shiny about the whole situation, you know? And this brings me to the thing where this movie is definitely calling out what I like to call clicktivists. So let's get into that.
Okay.
These assholes are usually on Twitter or Reddit now, you know, whose main concern is views and hashtag. And they'll sit there and shame people and stuff just to get the likes and all that kind of shit.
Oh, yeah.
They don't give a shit about the actual subject that they're fighting for, in quotations.
Right.
These type of people, they don't care. They don't care about saving the rainforest, really. They just these bubbly blonde dickwipes who pretend all day that they're bleeding hearts and stuff like that. And you know, you saw it during the Black Lives Matter protests, right?
Right.
Like these assholes online, just you know, these fucking college girls, Black Lives Matter, like shit like that. Yay! Really fucking weird, out of place shit. Like, it's just like, hey, it's not a Christmas party. This is a serious situation.
Right.
And you see it all the time. And then when that stuff fades out a little bit, they jump the bandwagon.
Yeah.
They're gone. They don't talk about that shit no more. You know, they don't talk about that.
Hey, no more time for that.
They're going on to the next thing.
Right.
And then they're protesting the next thing, and they're barely protesting again. They have a good time holding up signs, and they like the attention.
Right.
You know, and that's what a clicktivist is. They're just people who want to get the views and the drama started and stuff like that. And they don't actually do shit.
Right.
Like these people online and stuff don't ever really do shit. And there's so many of them that it drowns out the people that do actually do shit.
Right.
Like, where you start like missing actual places to donate your money because you don't know where the fuck. You know?
Oh, yes. And those people that like will scam.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
there was
why
a ton
the
of
fuck
scams.
are you doing that?
Ton of scams.
Oh, did you hear about that scam? Remember that boy that fell off the roller coaster?
Mm.
Well,
Yeah.
this lady came forward and she was like, that's my nephew or something like that, and raised a bunch of money for his funeral, and come to find out she didn't even know that fucking kid.
Yeah. And
Like,
then,
what?
and that's the thing. They're just in it for something for themselves. They
Right.
don't give a fuck about the rainforest or anything.
No.
This group, we find out in a little bit, doesn't give a fuck. Like,
Right.
and that's how most of these people are. And that's what's really kind of sickening.
It's so sad.
But yeah, this movie totally calls out groups like that. You know, to the
Yes.
point where those groups actually got pissed about this movie.
Of course they did.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
like, oh, fuck, they figured us out.
How dare you call my activism not real? Like, yeah, but you're not doing anything.
And not making anything any better.
Just like those assholes that like stood out. You remember during the again on the Black Lives Matter protests, you remember that group of white girls from fucking college that came out with signs that said big black cocks matter?
What?
Yeah, I love big black cock. And like people are like, oh, that's good. That's good. You're furthering stereotypes while you're protesting. That's awesome. Lovely.
That's horrible. I did not
Lovely.
know about that. Oh. So Justine goes to see Alejandro a couple days later and apologize. She says she wants to learn how to be an activist, and he's reluctant to teach her at first, but then he agrees or whatever.
Which people like him piss me off too. Because activism is not some kind of exclusive club where you have to learn to do it right.
Right? What the fuck?
You find something you're passionate about and you go speak out about it. That's all you got to do. There's no fucking swami needed in the fucking activism sector. Because these people exist. Dudes like Alejandro fucking exist.
Oh, yeah.
Where they use this activism to get themselves laid all the fucking time.
I was about to say to get
yeah,
pussy.
that's all they're fucking doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you were a real activist, you'd know how to do this. It's like, yeah, what? What does that even mean, dude?
But he goes on to say that they need to embarrass people to make them change. Like, he's talking about filming them to embarrass them online to make them change and do better. What? I've not seen one person that was really that embarrassed.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can equate that to the Trumpers now.
Yeah.
You know, none of them are embarrassed about anything.
No.
You show them online and they just see normal. Like, they don't see it as something bad. Like,
right.
That's
they
the
don't
problem.
care.
That's the problem with that kind of way of thinking you're going to change someone's mind. Shaming them into changing their mind. It doesn't
Right.
work.
No.
That never fucking works. It just makes them stronger in their stupidity.
Because then they're like, oh, I got my face out there. I got my word out there.
It's the same thing as like we talked about this because you were like, would it solve things if someone were to unalive Mr. Trump during his? I was like, no, that would make things absolutely worse. Like the worst thing anybody could do is physically harm him,
Right.
because that makes him a martyr.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah, so that's the problem with shaming people into doing this. It makes them a somewhat of a martyr to their followers.
Right.
You know, like take Dave Chappelle. You're not ever going to change his mind. He's too out there for anybody to change his mind about shit because he's too rich. You're never going to change those people's minds.
Right.
They're set. They're good. Because every time you shame them, they get more followers.
Right. They get more money in their
It does the
pockets.
opposite.
Yeah.
It does the exact opposite. So that kind of thinking does not work.
This goes back to cancel culture.
Exactly. And we all know my problem with cancel culture. I agree. I think it doesn't exist. I don't think cancel culture exists. I think there is we live in a capitalist country. And so like when you don't agree with somebody who's selling a good and you stop buying that good, that's not canceling them.
Right.
Like you're not going to cancel them.
Literally,
That's just
everybody
being
would
a
have to stop.
consumer. That's just being a consumer.
Right.
That's what happens. Consumers stop consuming. They go on, whether that be entertainment or an actual physical item. That's not cancel culture. That's just consumerism.
Right.
You get in America, you get to choose who you buy your things from. Well,
Right.
sort of, but like a fucking J.K. Rowling, like fucking bitching about people canceling her and not buying books and shit like that. Like, she's fine. She's fine. And then people going on there and shaming her, trying to shame her as much as possible. And it's like, you're really not correcting the problem because you're getting all these people behind her.
No, but people don't understand. A negative comment is $1 in the pocket.
Yeah, exactly.
A negative comment is $1 in the pocket. Like, if you type something and you post it on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, all of those things, they fucking get paid for it because it racks up their views and they get paid per view. So on anything like that, they get fucking paid for. So you're putting money in their pocket. You don't want them to have money. You want to cancel them, but you're providing the fucking shit. Stop doing it. Stop commenting about it. Stop tagging them. Stop talking about it. Leave them the fuck alone. And that's the only way that you can fucking do it. Unless everybody fucking does that, nobody's canceling J.K. Rowling.
Because honestly, like, even off of J.K. Rowling, like onto Logan Paul when he was bitching about Nope or whatever. Yeah. Like, do I really think he doesn't like that movie? I don't know. I don't think those people are genuine anymore.
Right.
I think they're fucking human robots. I don't think they have their own feelings anymore. Right. I think they just go off of what the algorithm is doing. They see something popular. They say something about it, they get views. I think that's exactly how they operate.
That is exactly it.
Because I do not think those people have human emotions.
I bet was trending, and they were like, "Oh, a lot of people like this, so let's go against
say something negative." Yeah, if I say something negative, that gets me, and then you get all. And I've been guilty of attacking, of people like that, and then I have to stop myself. I'm like, this is good for them.
You're feeding into what they want. Yeah.
The best thing you could do is just be like, oh, fuck that guy, and just not ignore it. You know, don't talk about him.
Definitely
the same way with the Baptist or Westboro Baptist Church, everybody stops talking about them. Do they exist anymore? I don't know.
I think they still
still do, but there's probably like 5 people there.
Just shut the fuck up.
That's all you got to do. But shaming people, it doesn't change minds. No. That doesn't work.
So the group has another meeting, and they're making their plans for when they're there and they're filming. They're not going to stop filming. They're not going to stop streaming. Never stop streaming, he says.
Got to get them views. I mean, get that support. Right. Oh, dude, come on.
So then Justine is packing to leave, and her friend thinks that she's stupid for going. I mean, her ghost friend is right.
Her ghost friend. So her friend kind of looks dead this whole time. It's not this girl's fault. She just is very...
She should not be blonde.
She sticks out
in
this entire movie.
Be blonde.
This is like, wow, Eli Roth really made that corpse come to life. He's a genius.
Oh, it was scary.
Her ghost friend. But her friend who is annoying at the very first of this movie, who you're kind of like, I don't like this person either. She turns out to be the smartest one. Right. Like what? She turns out to be the smarter one out of everybody. Because she's like, in the very beginning of the movie, when Justine is looking out the window at the people protesting, and her friend's in bed with another guy, and she's like, God damn it, they shut up. People are trying to sleep.
And Justine later on calls her a whore or something like that. Yeah. Okay, well,
at least I didn't fuck up, because you're about to fuck up.
Right. The worst that could happen to her, she can get an STD or pregnant, and I think that's way better than what's about to happen to this group
I would rather have crabs, Right. I would rather have a weekend of herpes or something. I would not.
Herpes is not a weekend. Right?
No, I know, but it outbreaks is what I was thinking. You have those periodic. I don't have. I don't have herpes, people. I don't have it.
Well, yeah, I know. That's why I was saying. I was like, do you know the extent of that?
but you weigh out your options there: herpes or get eaten by a cannibalistic tribe in the Amazon. Which way? I think I'm going to go with the herpes. I really do. Like, out of the two,
we can treat. This is 2022.
I got pills. We can. I got salves. I'm good.
I mean, you can't fix it, but you can treat it.
Yeah, you'll be all right. You can live. I've seen those commercials. Those people are jogging and playing catch. I could do everything. Surfing. So I don't know why herpes would keep you from surfing, but they're surfing.
Well, I mean, when you have a sore in
your hoo-ha?
Your dangly bits.
The dangly bit. God damn it. I'm glad my dangly bits are all free and clear. Just living happy and free down there.
Oh my God. Anyway.
No, don't got herpes on me. Ain't got no herpes on me.
Oh my God. Anyway. So why does Justine grab this flute necklace? You're going across the fucking country, like not across the country. You're going to another fucking country. Why are you taking your flute necklace?
Well, you got to have a reason to have the flute necklace.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
What's great about this movie? First of all, what's great about this movie, and what's great about a lot of Eli Roth movies, is that he gets all the exposition you need out of the fucking way at the very beginning.
Oh yeah.
Like, at least 30 minutes of this movie is exposition. We're getting it the fuck out of the way because once the plane goes down here in a little bit, this movie does not let up.
Right. We have to have an explanation for everything. This is the explanation for everything.
Because,
and
it's kind of nice because it all kind of fits together in puzzle pieces. And so you're not like, where the fuck did she get this whistle? Why does she have a whistle?
Right.
You know, well, that got explained to you. It's a whistle.
It's a flute.
It's a whistle.
It's a flout.
It's a flout. A flautist. Is that what they're really called?
Yes.
A
You didn't hear them
flautist?
say that?
It makes me hungry. I think of a flautist.
No, it's a flautist. You didn't hear her say that on the
No,
thing?
I
Yeah.
didn't. Oh, flautist.
It's not a flutist.
Is that what they call the pianist?
Mm-hmm.
I
And they
hate-
had to make it sound
Why?
fancy.
Pianist doesn't sound fancy. Just call me a
That's some-
piano player. The piano man. Call me that from now on.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So they go on this tiny ass fucking prop plane. And I'm talking small. I don't know how all of these people fit in there. It's so fucking small. Why did I yell?
I don't know. You're really angry
I
about
did
this
not mean
plane.
to. Just, no, fuck that. You never see me on a plane. Take me on a plane ride? No.
I don't like flying.
That's good.
You know, I feel like I'll never make it to the Amazon.
No.
You know what's funny?
Not that tiny ass
You know what's
prop plane.
funny? I have no urge. I have no urge to go. I'm going to leave the Amazon where it's at because I think that's what we should all be doing.
Right. Well, unless I go on Survivor.
Yeah,
But I'm not fucking with the natives
Yeah,
there.
they're going to carve out a spot for you. It's all good.
They have like a spot in Fiji now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, they got.
that's where they go and do this thing. So they get to this place, this other country or whatever, because like the Peruvian Amazon or whatever.
Peru.
And they get to ride in these little cart things, and I was like, oh, I want to ride in one of those.
I will say, as terrible as this is, and as much as it does not make you want to go to Peru or to the
Right.
rainforest, like it really is beautiful country.
Oh yeah.
Man, again, with the cinematography in this, it really makes you really, really respect like the countryside and stuff like that, because you can tell he loved it out there, because people said he did. Like Eli Roth loved it, like going out there and stuff like that. So like you can tell, like, just for the care the camera shows to this the scenery and stuff like that, and the crane shots and the overhead helicopter shots of the rainforest canopy.
Oh yeah.
It's really it's great.
Oh yeah. Because they're in these little things and they're going down this mountain
Right.
and all this stuff. Well, they go to like another city or whatever. The group stops to eat and talk, and Alejandro tells them that they're going up against a militia, but to just keep streaming because their phones are their guns.
And this really is the part where you should be like, hey, Alejandro, we're in another country.
Yeah.
You know, the cops back home are pretty bad, but here they could probably just kill us and dump us in the forest.
Right. There's animals out there
Yeah,
that'll
what the
eat us,
fuck?
or tribes.
I mean, we're about to find out their little plan to not be killed and left in the forest, but
Yeah. But this is where you start seeing Alejandro's scum.
Mhm.
He is scum.
Oh yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Oh yeah. Like, really? You're gonna go without any fucking gun? What? What? But he was like, this is all voluntary. You don't have to go. What? I just flew here.
What are you talking? Where am I going to go from here?
Right. I would have just stayed my ass in the restaurant. Like, I'll see you guys in a couple days.
I'm going to
or
drink
not.
whatever alcohol they have here. Go
I
ride.
need to get back on that plane.
I'm going to go pet a monkey. I'm not going anywhere. Y'all stay.
So the next day, they have to rush to these boats. I don't understand why they had to like run to these boats.
I think the idea is they need to hurry the fuck up because they're not really supposed to be doing this, like going down the river and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Because you can't just go to another country and just sail on down rivers and shit like that. There's limitations to what you can do in someone else's country as an American.
Right. So they have to rush to these little canoes. So they're sailing down the river. And some of these people Lars and Justine need to stop to pee.
Fucking God damn it. Look, where do we go to the bathroom? It's like, we're in the rainforest. What do you mean?
Right. Okay, first of all, I would say to the dude, why don't you just put it over
Swing
the
it
boat?
over the boat, man.
Yeah.
Like
what? Anyway, so they stop so these people can go pee, and Lars is scared. So Alejandro gives Justine this knife, or this machete, and says, take this in case of snakes or whatever. And Lars is like, what am I gonna take? So they hand him a gun. the canoe driver, the boat driver's gun, they just hand that to him, and he's like, okay. So he goes to pee, and we get a side dick shot here.
We get a little bit of dong in this movie.
Just a little bit.
Not whole dong. And I got to thinking, you were like, would you do that scene? I was like, if I did that scene, you're seeing all the dong. Because I'm going to be like, what are we doing side dong here? That's silly. Let's not side dong this.
He probably wanted to make sure he got a better rating.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
You know, how much dong can you show with within an R rating? I guess this much.
This much, yeah.
I guess this much dong.
And it's ginger.
Ginger dong? Yeah, we got some ginger dong.
Anyway.
What the fuck?
Anyway. So then we see the spider crawling along this log that he's peeing on. And it's really close to his dick.
This big ass tarantula.
And then it pans to like Justine getting back on the boat, and then you hear gunshots in the distance, so you know he shot that fucking spider.
He comes running out. That shit is really funny. So this is Daryl Sabara, who plays Lars here, and our listeners, you guys definitely know him and have seen him before. He was in the Spy Kids franchises. He was one of the Spy Kids.
That's who that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he plays a small character in Machete as well. Machete. Which that was a great episode. Go back and listen to that.
Oh yeah.
But so he is actually deathly afraid of tarantulas in real life.
Fuck those fucking things. All of the
Are you scared of tarantulas?
That thing is big as my face.
This is a big old tarantula. You know we have tarantulas around us, right? Like they just
can fuck. I'll get a gun.
Well, they don't come near us. They like to stay out, in the wooded areas. But there are tarantulas around here.
Yeah. And they can all fucking die.
so Sabara, he's like I said, he's actually deathly afraid of tarantulas, which is bad because one part that they were in, that they filmed in, they nicknamed the hellhole because of the amount of bugs that would bite you and all sorts of fucking terrible shit. And it was also, with bugs brings the spiders, so it was also coated with tarantulas.
Sounds like a
just
big
covered
nope
with
for me.
tarantulas.
I wouldn't go to Australia just because of the spiders.
Dude, I don't know. Okay, so Australia or cannibalistic tribe? And okay, when I say Australia, there's nice places. I don't know why I'm talking about it, the bush the whole time. But
I don't know. They've got ginormous they got like Canada-sized fucking spiders in there. Okay. They got boxing kangaroos.
Boxing kangaroos.
They got weird fucking fish that will fucking kill you in a heartbeat. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to try to go against the cannibal tribe because I can't box a kangaroo.
That's true. I couldn't fight a kangaroo to save my life.
Have you seen those things? They look fucking jacked. And you know why they look so jacked? You know why they look so jacked? Because they get bit by those fucking spiders.
They're working out all day.
No, because they're trying not to get bit by the spiders. So they work out so that they can fucking knock out the spiders, but then they knock out the humans too.
There's civilized areas of Australia, right?
I seen a video on TikTok of 2 fucking kangaroos. Why did I do that? 2 fucking kangaroos fighting in someone's front yard. Not today. Not today, State. I will take the meth heads fighting in the street.
That's what we deal with here.
The kangaroos.
That's Australia's meth heads. That's what we gotta deal with here. Is we go outside and see meth heads punching each other.
Like, no, just no, I'm good.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, they finally get to the forest and they get all geared up. And at first I'm like, why are they wearing these suits? And then I thought, oh, they're wearing these suits to prevent from getting poison ivy. That's what
did you think
my mind thought.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh, that's a good idea because like in coveralls or whatever. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like, they're
That's
not
not
going
what
to get
this
poison
is.
ivy. No. They dress like the construction workers so they can blend in.
I think there's over 30 species of plants that can kill you in the Amazon.
So don't eat any plants. When
I
you go there.
think poison ivy is the least of your concerns.
Well, that's what I'm saying is none of the plants will touch you.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're wearing these to blend in.
Right. So then they're given these masks. And so they can all have one face. They wear these masks for 4 seconds. What the fuck are you doing?
Man, each time Alejandro talks, I'm just, God damn you.
You're fucking stupid.
God, I've known so many people like you.
Yes. So then they go in and they chain themselves to trees and to the equipment. And when Justine's trying to get her chain and her lock, Alejandro's girlfriend gives her one from her pocket. Well, then when Justine tries to chain herself to this tree, it doesn't fucking lock. So she knows she's in danger and she's trying to get Alejandro to help her, but he just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Because she knows she's in trouble if she can't lock this log. So then there's this explosion to get the people's attention, and they're streaming and they're chanting, and they're like, we can't stop filming. We can't
Don't stop streaming. God damn it.
By the way, the quality of these phones is like really. How
Now-
do people
now
even
back
see
on
what's
the-
happening?
Yeah, back on the stupid activism, first of all. Like, when I say that, like, because I know people are like, well, what aren't you, or didn't you say to ridicule these people in real life? Like, in
For
real life.
Yeah.
Like, online is not doing shit.
Right.
But, like, so like, you're immediately seeing that something's a little fishy here with what they're doing with Justine. So, this right here is part of the area they nicknamed the hellhole with all these trees that they're
Oh.
training themselves to. And you don't see it in the movie, but they had to smoke out these trees, especially Justine's, before she got against it, because they were coated with these ants called Azula ants.
Oh God.
Now the
God.
the Azula ant, a big old fucking ant, and apparently their venom when they bite you, it's like you've been shot. That's how it feels. Supposedly, it is the most painful ant bite you could possibly get in the entire world.
Yeah, nope. Sounds like a note for me, dog.
It's another check mark against Leigh is not going to the Amazon
Right.
rainforest. It's not a place I need to go to before I die. Maybe it'll be the place I go to die, but not.
So the militia end up running up and they end up grabbing Justine because she's not fucking chained up. And they point a gun to her head. And I quickly realized that this lock was rigged.
Mhm.
And they used her because of her father. And Alejandro starts talking to them in Spanish. Then the man with the gun gets a call. And they let down their guns. And then you're like, what?
Yeah.
Why? Anyway, we find out in a minute why.
Yeah, you get-
because
yeah.
fuck them. So everyone is being escorted to back to the boats, and they're in handcuffs. Then they get taken to a plane, and the dude that like sponsored this whole thing with money and stuff, he pays off the militia leader, and he gets their passports back, and they all get unhandcuffed, and they get to go back on the plane. So they're all celebrating on the plane, and they realize that they're trending online from their
Yeah.
streaming. But Justine is pissed because she also realizes that she got used, and the only person she fucking likes is Jonah.
But even
That's
Jonah
her
kind of
name.
knew.
Yeah.
That's what I got from it.
Yes,
Yeah, it's like, God damn it, you people.
because it kind of gets worse from there. Like
I
this
know.
is not even as bad as it gets.
No,
Like, what?
yeah, because even Alejandro had something under his pocket that he was fucking around with.
Fuck them all.
Again, because like you see them, they're like, look, we're trending on Reddit. We're on the front page. Woo! It's like,
It wasn't Reddit.
did
it was
we
CNN.
save the rainforest? Like, did we do something?
They didn't fucking do
You
anything.
didn't do shit.
So they're flying over the forest, and the plane catches fire and it crashes. and everyone's getting fucked up, but not as bad as the dude that takes the tree to the face.
Dude, you see this
And the
fucking tree?
pilot-
Oh, it is a delicious
Oh my
fucking
God,
tree
yes.
into the head. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Because this whole time, so like with Hostel and stuff like that and Cabin Fever, Eli Roth's giving you a plethora of gore, right off the, kind of up front,
Mhm.
but like this movie takes its time to get there. And when it does, Jesus Christ.
It gets there.
It gets there. And he does most of this stuff practically. There's a few scenes where it's a little digital, which I
Right.
can forgive because what are you going to do,
Right.
Like,
Right. So then, as everybody that's still alive is getting off the plane because they know that eventually this thing's gonna blow, one of the dudes just walks into the fucking propeller.
yeah,
What, you weren't watching where you were going?
that made me. I don't know if I was supposed to laugh there because I giggled. Like that part always makes me giggle.
I had to rewind it.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Because it's like a Benny Hill fucking.
I think I could kind of understand because he's probably disoriented from.
Well,
the
yeah, because
fucking
he's the guy you
crash.
see get out and he's like rubbing his eyes. He can't see very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Dies. And then the plane blows up. That's why they're getting off the plane. So everyone's trying to figure out what they're going to do. When Alejandro's girlfriend sees someone watching them, we can see it's one of the tribe members.
And this lady has been a bitch this entire movie.
The whole movie.
Yeah, because
Like-
she's like, that's my man to Justine kind of shit. And it's just
Right.
like,
And Justine's not even like really like hitting on him or
I mean, she
anything.
likes him because you can tell Justine's kind of going along with this because she does have the hots for Alejandro.
But she's not
at first.
overstepping.
Yeah, not really, but that's kind of what attracts her to it. Because even her
Right.
friend, her ghost friend, even her ghost friend says, are you sure it's the activism you're attracted to? Or-
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she sees someone watching them, so she goes to ask for help. And she takes an arrow to the neck.
Oh,
right
yeah.
through her fucking neck.
Oh, yeah.
Then when Alejandro tries to help her, she gets another one to the brain,
I almost,
right between the
when
eyes.
I first saw this, I almost cheered. I was like, yes.
Yes. But then the others are getting hit with these little darts and
Mhm.
they're passing out. So they're like poison darts or
You
whatever.
think they knew she was a bitch and they didn't want to eat her? Like, I feel like that's what was going on. They were like, "Oh man, no, we can't eat that
This
one.
one's a cunt.
We gotta take her out, you guys."
I guess. I don't know.
The evil ruins the meat.
I guess so. The evil ruins. It's so tense. It's so
Yeah, it's so
So
tense.
tough,
Look at her.
like-
Like, we can't do that. Like, that's
Right.
what I want. I want the Green Inferno, but as told from the villagers' perspective. Like,
Yes.
okay, which one? Well, they all look pretty tasty. I don't know. Like, not that one. Not that one. Just
Not
just
that-
take her
She's
out.
just a cunt. No.
Yeah, fuck her. To the brain.
So then Justine wakes up and she's tied up in a canoe and the others are too. And they are brought to a beach with all of these native people. Is that what I'm supposed to call them?
Yeah. I mean, in this movie, they're a tribe. Yeah. So you can call
Well,
them
some of them
tribe,
call them the
native
tribe
people.
and the native people.
Native people. Yeah, they're
Native
native
to
to
the
their
land,
land. Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's a proper term.
I was like, am I fucking something up here?
I think you're actually saying it better than I am because we'll talk about the real people in a second. But
Right. So they're touching all over these Americans. And then this leader lady comes out and checks them out. And they take the group to like a cage thing, basically. I mean, it's outside and it's just bamboo or whatever, but it's a fucking cage. Anyway, they're zoo animals.
yeah.
Well, it's like a refrigerator. Anyway, I'm just playing. It's too hot to be a fridge.
It's a refrigerator. It's got like they got a crisper section with the fucking veggies.
Because it's just their holding place. for
Yeah,
the-
yeah. It's kind of like a pig pen, you know?
Right,
They
yeah.
got some slop. They're gonna get in a little bit. It's
Yeah,
all good.
yeah.
Again,
Anyway.
the villager's perspective.
So they do, but they end up not taking Jonah
Mhm.
into the cage. And they're giving him a drink of something, and then they lay him on this stone and they're pinning him down. And I just now realized, Roy, they picked Jonah first.
Oh, yeah.
I know why they picked Jonah first, because he's the biggest one.
Yeah, he's the meatiest. That's what I was
Right.
saying. You know, if they found me and got me, I'd be a marbled steak to these people. They just fucking, it'd be months of eating.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, look.
I
I wonder if Americans are tastier because of the fat content. You think?
maybe,
Like,
yeah.
I feel like the marbling in us is just so well done, you know?
Right. So the leader ends up cutting out his eyeballs
Oh, man.
and just fucking eats them.
So out of everything, I don't think it gets any gorier than this. Like, it doesn't get much gorier than
Right.
this. But, like, this scene was so visceral. And you're not really... Like, you know you're dealing with cannibals because it's called The Green Inferno. You know what you're getting into. You know this movie. You know Eli Roth, what he's famous for. So you know what you're coming into this movie with. But this scene is so visceral and so fucked up that it still, to this day, gets me in the stomach, man. Because they're going for it. Because first of all, like when they put him down, obviously this is a false rock and they got his head sticking up, you know, a fake body and shit like that they're working with. But and you know, he does this practically. These fucking scenes where they're carving out eyes and shit and eating his tongue and it's just
Oh, and so they also cut off his tongue and she eats that too. Well, he's alive this whole time.
Oh yeah.
I thought the people in the cage were screaming. I did not realize he's just alive this whole time.
Yeah,
I don't know why I thought he was dead.
The actor playing Jonah, man, he goes for it. The scream he is letting out is like inhuman.
Yes.
Oh, I think that's what makes it worse is the scream.
Yes.
Like,
and they're just cutting him apart while he's away. They cut off his arms, they cut off his fucking legs, and then cut off his head. Just
can
done.
we do that first, please?
Yes, like just get that out of the way, please.
Jesus Christ.
But then they just take his torso and they put it in this cooking hut to smoke it.
What I love about it is he shoots like they're just hanging out preparing dinner, you know, like it's nothing.
They're like salting the legs to
they're
like
just salting
preserve
it up.
them
Yeah,
for
getting
later.
it ready for cooking. It's all good.
Yeah.
Now, in reality, the Nayoka, again, with that name, I'm sorry, you guys.
Don't they call them the Yaku tribe?
I think in the movie they're called something different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
They're peaceful. They're farmers and stuff. They're a farming community is what they are.
Yeah.
And I've used the word tribe a lot, which is kind of wrong because nothing of this film reflects their actual lifestyle. They're they're not painted wandering around with spears and shit like that. They have a school, they have a church, and they wear clothes, mostly stuff that made its way to the village. Like Eli Roth said, it was kind of funny because they're wearing like a sports shirt. And they had no idea who the team was or what sport it was. It's just clothing that had made it down there to them from these supply ships that come by. So they're not uncivilized or anything like that. That was one of the misconceptions and stuff. They don't eat people or anything. But you have to what's really cool about these people that live here in the Amazon rainforest is you got to really fucking respect them for that. The fact that like you hear all the stories about Eli Roth about working on this movie and how everybody's coming close to death and shit like that. And then you think about these people are just living there. That's their home.
Right.
So these people are just out there fighting back the rainforest and the elements, constantly just carving their way into the land and stuff like that.
I do yourself a favor and look up this tribe.
It's cool, man.
It's Callanaywacu. I said that really fast, but not tribe. You said not to say tribe. I'm sorry.
You could say tribe if you want to, but really they're not what this movie depicts.
Right.
You know, these people are actors, and that's what Eli Roth called them. You know, he was like, they were really good actors.
But they still have those things in their face.
Oh yeah, they do the piercings and stuff like that. But they're
so
very
cool.
they're very cool culture, and stuff like this fascinates me. And you can learn it from afar. You don't have to go bother these people.
That's exactly it.
You can learn about them from afar, but it's very fascinating culture and stuff that they have. You got to really respect these people for being able to live in a place where me and you would die in 2 hours.
Oh my God, I know.
Maybe less. I don't know if I could survive.
People.
I'd get off the plane and just immediately start sweating and just be like, I can't do it. Leigh died as soon as he got on the land. But now, when everyone arrived, Chilean actor Lorenza Izzo who plays Justine, she said they like the people there like received them as family. They were happy to have them and shit like that.
That's awesome.
Now Lorenza, she speaks Spanish, and they predominantly speak Spanish there, so she was able to really communicate.
Oh, I was
going to
ask you about that.
Yeah, and so did the production company. They spoke Spanish and stuff, so
Right.
there wasn't like a breakdown of communication between everybody.
That's good.
Yeah, because again, and Eli Roth has said this. He was like, everything in the movie is not them. He was like, that is not their culture. He was like, that is a
Right.
made up kind of thing we did, because they don't paint themselves. Like, there's none of that. Like, that was for the movie specifically.
Right.
We'll talk about that later, but the idea of like stereotypes and stuff.
Right.
Now, Lorenza, she said that like it was kind of liberating to sit down and have full conversations about, you know, the different kind of cultures that they're each coming from. You know, like she's coming from like Hollywood and kind of stuff like that. And she said it was just really nice to be able to do that, to have all these conversations and have all this cultural knowledge and stuff coming from them without looking at your phone the entire time.
Right. That's really nice because she did speak their language. I bet that was way easier for her than the people that didn't speak Spanish.
Right. Because you got to imagine, like, and again, it's a very American thing to do, like to assume they're just going to speak English when you get there.
Right.
But also, like, apparently the kids got into it as well. Eli Roth said it was hilarious because they loved it. They were having so much fun. He was like, they were a little nervous at first. He was like, with all the crew and stuff like that.
All these fucking white people.
Yeah, they were a little nervous, but he said like they really started getting into it. He was like, they were like calling cut and stuff. And they were just having a good time.
That's awesome.
And Eli Roth said that like they really took care to treat these people with respect.
Good.
And stuff like that. And I think that's the proper thing to do. You know?
Yeah.
And he said they had such a good time and they loved the crew and the actors so much that like they offered the production assistant, I believe, they offered her a baby.
Here, you can have this now.
Because they were like, we have a gift for you. And she was like, I can't take a baby home. I'm sorry.
How illegal would that be to fucking just take a baby home?
It's just like, here, have a newborn. It's like, what? No.
No.
I can't just be bringing a baby home from the Amazon forest.
Ma'am, where did you get that baby? I can't tell you.
But yeah, Eli Roth has said, because there was talks about doing a sequel to this,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but that kind of broke down over time. And Eli Roth is not big on sequels. He did Hostel 2, but if you look at Hostel and Hostel 2, it all acts as one big movie, kind of like Kill Bill Volume 1, Kill Bill Volume 2. It's kind of like that. So,
Fuck Kill Bill.
so
Sorry.
you haven't even seen it.
I know.
But so I think that just kind of broke down over time. But he was like, he was like, I watch it now, and he was like, and I get so sentimental about it. He was like, I really want to go back and see them again.
Oh,
Yeah.
I bet he could just go there.
He probably could.
So they're all just sitting around the cage, you know, waiting to be eaten. And none of the girls, she's like, I'm really sick. She's like, this is too funny. She has to shit. And they're like, no. I'm like, what is she supposed to do? She got to shit, okay?
Well, I mean, what I would tell you, like, at least try to push your asshole against like the break in the bars, you know, to try to
Right.
shoot it that way.
Ooh,
You know,
shoot it.
yeah, get it a little farther away from us, please.
Well, she shits everywhere. And
Oh,
the
man.
kids think this is hilarious. I do too. I think
The
it's
kids,
hilarious.
you know, the kid actors in this playing the little kid tribe people, they even came up with a few things to do on their own. Like they thought it'd be funny to take a little baby boa and like later you see them messing with them. That was the kid's idea to do, you know.
That's funny to torment them.
But yeah, I think it's just an insult to injury because this scene is fucking hilarious. And it comes at a right time, so you know it's comedic relief.
Right.
Because it comes at a time where you got to have a little levity after that fucking Jonah scene.
Yes.
Because dear Lord, Jonah's screams are still with us.
And I gotta tell you, I completely understand the shitting thing. And it's because I bet you she doesn't have a fucking gallbladder. Because sometimes when you don't have a gallbladder, you can't make it to a toilet. Not that she could have made it to a toilet, but like you got the Hershey squirts and it's painful. And then when you shit, you feel better. Like,
It just would suck, you know, it would really suck. And this poor girl, she has the right idea here in a little bit.
Yes.
Because it's like, oh, great. I crashed. I saw some people die. They just ate poor fat Jonah. I'm sitting here waiting to get eaten. I have the runs.
Right. Anyway. So it's night now, and Alejandro tells them that they didn't stop anything and that this was all a stunt to stop the first construction company to get another company to take over. So basically...
This was a PR stunt.
Right. So I guess the construction company paid them.
Yeah, the competing construction company paid them. So those other people would leave and the competitors would come in.
That's why he wanted them to stream. I didn't even think about that, to stream this company and be like, these are bad people, blah, blah, blah. And so they would retreat. The other people would come. Oh, that's so fucking stupid. Yeah. See, now I'm getting even more mad about it.
And you know, like he says, this is how the real world works and stuff earlier on. This kind of happens.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's the fucked up part.
And he says that the good guys and the bad guys are connected. And that's exactly true.
It is.
Because
it's a good representation of some of these like false activists and stuff like that.
But also, like, you know that the rich people are paying the poor people to do shit, and I don't know, the good rich people are paying the bad rich people.
Well, it's just like that. Like, you remember that Coney 2012 shit? Remember that? Like, they made up some kind of warlord in fucking South Africa or something like that.
I have no clue.
You don't remember Coney 2012? And then that guy, because of dehydration, got caught jerking off in San Francisco.
No, I have no clue.
Oh, I've got to educate you. I'm sure someone right now is screaming at their radio because it was such a big thing. So like Coney 2012 was a thing where this guy was like, you know, save the children warriors of this country. I forgot what country it was. It's been so long. But because of Coney, the warlord who enslaves these little kids and makes them little warriors and shit like that. And so if you send off for this package of Coney 2012 stuff, which had like bumper stickers and t-shirts and shit, if you send off for it, we'll be able to provide money to save these kids. And it turns out that money wasn't going nowhere to save no kids because that shit probably didn't exist.
Right.
So then that shit ended up blowing up in that guy, and then he got caught like jerking off in San Francisco along the highway. He was just and his PR people said it was because he was dehydrated.
What?
I was like, I've been dehydrated before. I don't remember jerking off.
Wouldn't that make you more dehydrated?
I don't think.
You're expelling liquid from your body.
Can you do that? Like,
what?
Yeah, I think it was because of meth. Was
he gonna drink his sperm?
Who fucking knows, man? But you've got to go and look at that shit because that was a big thing that year. I
don't remember that. Okay, anyway.
but it kind of reeks of that a little bit, you know, that's false shit, to like false activism and shit like that. That shit really does happen, and you really got to vet the things you're following.
Right.
You know, I think a lot of people know that now, but you know, you had the shit going on back then. Like, a lot of people, the internet was newer, not in 2013, but you know, like before that, you know, I'm sure people were getting ripped off by scam activism all the fucking time.
Oh yeah. So the next day, the girls get taken. Well, I don't know if it's the next day, another day. The girls get taken out of the cage and undressed by the leader. She ends up sticking something in their vaginas.
She has this like, and I think it's the same thing she dug poor Jonah's eyeballs out with. It's like this claw finger thing.
Yeah.
Which these, if you know, all these people, these people, the kind of Yoko, if they were they're good actors.
Oh yeah.
Just saying, they gave it their all.
Well, she ends up sticking something in this thing in their vaginas to see if they're on their period, and Justine is the only one. So she gets her period blood wiped on her head, and they blow this smoke in her face, and it makes her pass out, or dust, or whatever the fuck this is. So then later it's raining, and the people in the cage make a plan for one of the girls to escape the cage and she does. And she runs to this canoe that she could see down the way, jumps in the canoe. We don't know what happens yet.
And I love that. You know, a lot of people did complain about this because, well, spoilers, like it's a kill off camera.
Right.
But I kind of love how he sets this up.
Because it's even more visceral when you see what happens later.
Yeah, for him to set up what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Like he had to have done that off camera.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I fucking love it.
Right. So when it's not raining, they bring Justine back and she has paint all over her body.
Mm-hmm.
And she says she doesn't know what they did to her because she was passed out. Then they see a little girl bound up like in the things from the class about the female circumcision.
Yeah.
And everyone knows what's going to happen to her, or already did. I don't know. And Alejandro just thinks that means more days for them because he says they were talking about how if she gets circumcised, she might die. And he's like, okay, more days for us because they'll eat her.
Yeah, it's like, God damn it, dude. And that's what I mean.
My thought.
That's what I mean with Alejandro. He had to make him an even bigger fucking douchebag because you already kind of don't like everybody.
Right.
You know, you're going into this not liking everybody, but now by making him the bigger of the douches, like it kind of makes you care about the other characters at this point.
Right.
Because while yes, they are fucking assholes, do they deserve to be eaten? I don't necessarily know, you know.
Right.
I mean, I know a few people on Twitter that deserve to be eaten by a cannibalistic tribe in the Amazon. Send them right now.
So Daniel, one of the other guys, he says that they're going to escape tonight. They're going to make a fucking plan.
Mm-hmm.
Or was that Lars? I don't know. One of the guys.
Lars is Sabara. You know, he's the spy kid.
Right. No, I know. I just couldn't remember which one said that. Yeah. Anyway. So then the tribe brings them some food. I would not consider this food. It looked like yellow foam. It
kind of looks like fat. Like a bunch of pig fat.
Yeah,
it kind of looks like fat. Really.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Because Alejandro says something about it being pig scraps.
Okay, maybe that is what it is then. So one of the girls realizes that this is her girlfriend.
And man, well, the fucking reveal is so fucked up because she like, you know, everybody is like, okay, yeah, we are hungry. Fuck it.
We're just
and they're
eat
just
whatever.
eating. They're going at it and stuff. And she like drains her bowl, drinks it and stuff, then looks in. And in the bottom is a carved out tattoo.
Right. From this girl that ran to the canoe that had escaped or whatever.
Yeah, because this girl has tattoos all over her. And then she looks around and there's these kids putting it on them. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
But this is what makes it more visceral.
I get so excited.
This is what makes it more visceral, and you realize that she's dead. It's these kids are playing with her fucking skin, the tattoos, and they're like, ooh, like tattoos on their body and stuff. Like they're fucking playthings. Like, what the fuck?
It's fucked up.
So this girl, she takes her bowl, she smashes it because it's clay. Mm-hmm. She breaks it and slices her own throat. I did not expect that.
Yeah, it happens so quick too.
I did not expect
and honestly, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, fuck it.
I just ate my girlfriend. Fuck this.
I'm done.
Because she even says, like, before this, she's like, I'm a vegan.
Not no more.
Well, I mean, she'd probably eaten her girlfriend before. Like. Anyway.
God damn, Brittany.
Sorry.
Oh.
So she slices her own throat. So I can't talk. They devise this plan that they're going to take this weed bag that Lars has and shove it down the girl's throat. The dead girl's throat. So that when they cook her, they're going to get high. And then they could escape.
Yeah. Would this actually work? Like, can you do this? Like, not with a dead body, but I mean, like.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
There was not nearly enough marijuana for that.
I feel like it. Yeah, I feel like you're going to need a little bit more weed, Lars.
Yeah.
Maybe the meat gets infused with the marijuana is what the idea is.
But still, you need a lot more.
You need a lot more.
You've made butter before.
Yeah, weed butter. It did take quite a bit. And by the way, you guys, don't just take a spoonful of that weed butter.
Oh, God.
That was a bad idea because I was like, I wonder how strong it is. And I didn't read anywhere of how strong this shit was supposed to be.
Uh-oh.
Because then I was like, I'll just taste a teaspoon full of it. I was like, okay, it's pretty gross. That's pretty
Yeah, it
gross.
tastes
And
gross,
I
yeah.
looked up and I was like, so how much would I put in a batch of cookies? And it's like half a teaspoon. I'm like, a batch? I got so fucked up. I slept. Like I didn't even get high. Like I don't remember being high. I just woke up. My eyeballs were swollen.
You're like, fuck.
I gotta take the kids to school. Like, so about the gore in this movie, you know, we've talked about it. It's a lot of it's practical. Some of it's a little CGI, like the guy getting hit in the head with the propeller was a little CG'd,
Yeah.
which I think it's because like if you kind of look past the CG in those scenes, because I'm a fucking nerd, I've paused these to look at the gore. But if you look past the CG, you can tell that there probably wasn't enough blood for what that was, you know?
Oh, right.
Yeah. So that was probably why, but I kind of forgive it a little bit. But it has the lovely ability to get my stomach even today. Like the
yeah.
gore on here. And I don't know if it's the way he delivers it, because we've seen this shit before in tons of different movies. You know, there's nothing in this movie that you haven't seen in another movie. Well, for you,
okay,
yes.
I was like, wait,
but
what?
for me, you know, when I'm watching the Italian cannibal horror movies and shit like that, Cannibal Ferreira or Cannibal Holocaust and stuff, there's nothing in this that really hasn't been seen before. You know, even the eye gouging and shit like that. And I've seen that. We've seen zombie
Right.
movies, so we, you know, poor Lars here in a minute. We've seen that before, so it's
Right.
not any mystery. But for some reason, the way he delivers it here, and I was going to talk to you about that. Maybe you have an input, but the way he delivers it here, it gets you in the gut.
Oh, like her cutting out the eyeballs and just eating them like fucking candy.
yeah.
Just
And he
gross.
doesn't even hold on it too long.
No.
You know, it's kind of quick cuts when you're doing that. He doesn't like revel in the gore either, because he submitted this to the MPAA and they offered no notes. You know, they just gave it an R. So this is not like out of the ass gory or anything like that.
Right.
It's just the way Eli Roth can deliver stuff. It makes you fucking uncomfortable.
Oh yeah. It's yeah, it made me uncomfortable.
Yeah, definitely. You know, a lot of people, I think a lot of people weren't really ready for that, because again, you know, the majority of people going to see this, which it was advertised and put out like a mainstream movie, the amount of people going to see this had not seen Cannibal Holocaust or anything like that. But, you know, a lot of people were in on it. Like Stephen King said, like it was, he loved it. He's like, it's a revisit of the old drive-in movies I used to see in my youth. And so like,
That's awesome.
So yeah, so a lot of people knew what this was and vibed with it. But I think a lot of people were really taken aback.
Well,
And I want to know, because I've met a lot of people who say they don't like these kind of movies because of the way that shit makes them feel.
yeah. I mean,
And I'm always fascinated, because for me, this is great. I love feeling like this.
that's what I was gonna say. Is like I like being grossed out to a certain extent, because I don't know, it's almost scary.
Well, yeah.
I get the same kind of feeling. I mean, I know it's not scary, but like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
Because even, okay, so I do shrooms, you guys. I think I've talked about it before. But even like, you know, the other night I did it a little bit too much, more than I'm used to. And I guess I had what people would call a bad trip,
yeah,
but it was fun to me because it was scary.
right.
And I love being scared. And so I'm getting the shit scared out of me every time I turn around, and I'm like, I'll freak out, and then I start laughing because it's so much fun to me. And so I probably look like an insane person. I'm glad you were asleep.
Yes.
Because there was a moment, okay, I walked into the bathroom and I looked in the mirror and I could see my circulatory system, like my veins and shit, and the blood moving through my face. And it was
Ew.
scary as fuck. But at the same time, I was like, oh man, this is so scary. Like,
so cool.
like, so I don't know. I don't know if I would know if what a bad trip is or not, because I'm having fun.
You're so weird.
I am, because then I'm like, I'm watching fucking American Horror Story, and it was freaking me out so bad. Like my shit was pulsing. Like it was like, I was like, oh my God, this is so fucking scary. Oh my God, this is so fucking scary. I love it. This is so good. Because that, as a horror fan, man, as someone like me, like I said, who loves getting bothered by this
Mhm.
shit, who loves getting scared and stuff, someone like me, like you're constantly chasing that dragon, man.
Oh yeah.
You know, from your very first scare, from the very first horror movie you can remember, you're constantly chasing that. So when movies like this kind of make you feel it just by the gore, like that's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So in the cage, Alejandro is just jerking off in the corner to relieve stress.
I don't even understand his idea behind this. Because first of all, this would require you to get an erection.
I was about to say that.
And
too.
I don't think I'd have a dick. I think my dick would physically crawl off my body and into the forest to mate with a tarantula and make dick tarantulas. I don't think I'd have a dick after this whole situation.
I was going to ask you about that. Like in stressful situations.
Jerking off is not going to help. I don't.
No, like, do you even realize? Like, in a stressful situation, I don't even know I have a vagina. So,
yeah,
like,
I'm not a sexual being in those situations.
okay, I was.
So this requires a type of psychopathy that I think that
I guess
only
so.
Alejandro has.
Yeah, it's taking him a long
Because it's
time
not
to
like
get
the
off. Though.
well, maybe I don't know. I was about to say it's not like the soldiers like in wars are like jerking off behind.
I
But
hope
then I'm
not.
like, well, I don't know.
Right. But then the tribe members come in
Mhm.
and they find the dead girl. So they cook her
I love this.
and they're all fucking stoned.
Oh, they get fucking stoned.
Oh, so stoned. So the group takes this time to escape, but Alejandro darts Lars before he can make it out.
Uh-huh.
And and he says that he's gonna keep him so he doesn't get eaten first.
Yeah.
So because he doesn't want to be eaten at all.
But I think this is a bad move. You should have got Daniel. See, Daniel's the bigger one.
but
Because I feel like
that he just now like he saw that dart
Oh,
and
yeah,
he
yeah,
was like, "Oh, you're right
That's a good
there."
point. Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a
poor
matter of
Lars. Poor
opportunity.
Lars.
Yeah. Yeah. So when Lars wakes up, the tribe members are standing over him and they're all so high and they got the munchies. So
Fuck.
they start to bite him.
Oh,
He
yeah.
gets up to run away and the whole fucking group of people will just
They
eat
just
him
start
alive.
eating him like zombies. It's great.
They didn't even cook him.
It's
just
fucking great.
fucking
We're
eat
going
him.
raw. We're having
We're
some
raw
human
dogging it.
sushi.
Ugh,
We're having human sushi.
that's really
It's
fucking gross.
again, the gore is really fucked up, man. Like they're biting chunks out of his neck and his
And
arms.
I know we've seen this in zombie movies. okay?
Yeah, yeah.
I know we have. This is different.
That's my point earlier.
Yeah.
There's something so visceral about the way Eli Roth is delivering this that, like, again, yeah, we've seen it.
Right.
It's not anything we haven't seen. I've seen movies where dudes are getting their jawbones ripped off and their intestines pulled out and pushed in their face. I've seen all sorts of fucked up shit. But for
Right.
some reason, Eli Roth is able to give it to you to where, like, every time you watch this, it's just like, oh, God. Oh, God. Like, it gets me. You know,
Yeah.
I love that about him.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe what my fascination with his movies are, is because he has the ability to bother me.
Right. Oh, he doesn't bother me at all.
I was waiting for it. You haven't talked about your eternal
That's 'cause
crush
he's
for
not here.
Eli Roth.
That's because he's not in this movie, and I'm very mad about it.
You found out another crush that you might have is Ty West. You looked him up. You're
Oh,
like, oh, Ty
yeah.
West as well.
Yeah, they could. Never mind. Anyway,
I think Eli Roth is single now, so you know.
Daddy. Sorry. Anyway, so Justine and Daniel are making their way up the side of the river when Justine gets pulled under by the current. Why did she jump like that, first of all?
Well, I don't know. It looks, she just dived right in.
Like, what the fuck?
But like in this scene right here, you're not even expecting this really. Like just the tension. Like this
yeah.
is like an adventure film all of a sudden.
Yes. So she gets swept down the river, but Daniel ends up saving her. So they make their way into the forest now because they're like, we're not going to be stupid and jump in the water anymore. And they find parts of the airplane crash. Then they stumble upon some weird display of the people that died in the crash. Like they're on these.
Yeah, they put them on pikes, which is definitely a throwback to that scene in Cannibal Holocaust where that lady or that girl is stabbed onto the pike.
Oh yeah. But they're just like on display.
Oh, it's fucking creepy.
Yeah, it is. So they hear this phone making noise, and they go to grab it. And they end up getting caught by the tribe because they the girl falls on Justine, like the pole falls on her, whatever. Anyway, so they end up getting caught.
Now, during that scene, that tense scene of her getting caught by the river, getting sent down, Lorenza really wanted to do that herself. So they have her on a rope, right? Going through there, but she almost drowned because the current, it was so unpredictable. That was really strong. Yeah, it's so unpredictable out there. Like they would be talking about like sometimes they would be fighting the current to get upriver. You know, in these little motorboats. And like Eli Roth said, like sometimes you would just silently grab the fucking seat and just pray you're going to make it.
Oh, that's crazy. But in this like scene,
it looks
moving
real.
So fucking fast.
And most of her screams, you see, that's real. Because she she almost drowned off of this scene.
Then we see Daniel's getting beat.
God
He's
damn.
like tied to this stake or whatever. And this guy's like fucking beating him.
Yeah, which is the main headhunter of this, which we haven't really talked about him, but he has a distinct look. I love it.
He's got this like bone through his nose that goes all the way around his head, and he's like
Well, everybody's painted a different way. The main, like just the regular tribes people, they're painted red with like some black markings, and then I think she's like the leader. Yeah, she's got yellow. Yeah, and then he is painted all black with like yellow over his face and a little bit of white markings.
Yeah,
and he has this big old bone going through his nose and around it. He looks cool as fuck.
Oh yeah,
like I want a character of this, like an action figure, like to put on my shelf.
That'd be cool. So Daniel's getting beat by this guy, and Justine is getting rubbed down with some white paint, and they coat Daniel in something too. I don't know what it is, and they release these ants on him. These big fucking ants.
Oh,
they're
man.
CGI ants.
They're definitely CG, but I think this is one of the moments where I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a pass. Like
because they can't get like really big ants like that without them like
actually biting this dude. Yeah,
right.
So I'll give it a pass. But that's still to think about being slowly devoured by ants. That's got to be the worst fucking death.
Oh yeah.
And plus, like, they've broken all his bones. Like, that was the point of him hitting him.
Oh,
he's broken
so
all his fucking bones. Yeah.
So they're going to cut off Justine's clit.
Fun.
She's like tied up.
Oh,
she's
man.
Painted.
And
the leader is about to do it.
Oh god.
Then this tribe member brings a head of a construction worker back.
Yeah. So the construction people are pulling in.
Yes. So the tribe grabs their weapons and they charge into the woods, and she is left there to hang.
Yeah.
Well, that sounded bad. She's just tied up.
Yeah, she's just hanging out. But
right.
So this movie, like I said, had a little bit of controversy attached to it, of course, and it had been accused of perpetuating. It's weird, but it got accused of perpetrating the stereotype that indigenous people are savages. You know. And they need to be destroyed. Colonialism is what that's called, when we need to go in and destroy the savages. But most of that was coming from people who hadn't seen the movie, is what Eli Roth said. He said that, like, when you do a movie like this, that's putting those kind of people on the chopping block, so to speak, you know, pun intended. Of course they're going to get angry, you know?
Oh, yeah.
He said Amazon rights group, the Amazon rights group saw this and they loved it. They even partnered together with Eli Roth to do a fundraiser.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like I said, when you make a movie that's calling out clicktivists, of course they're going to get super angry. And I have a specific story about that. So when I saw this in theaters, I took a girl on a date to go see it. Known her very much, but she was into horror movies. I was like, you want to go see Eli Roth's new movie? And she was like, yeah, I'd love to. So we went to go see this movie. I didn't know much about her. Like, so we're watching this and she leans over to me at one point. I don't remember at what point of the movie it was, but she was like, why does he hate activists so much? Why is he doing this? And I was like, oh, you're one of these people. Because then later it comes to find out she was talking to me. Yeah, she does that. She gets online and protests.
Wrong movie to take her to.
And I was like, oh man, this movie is specifically calling out you. And so, yeah, I saw it firsthand.
mistake.
You know, I saw it firsthand. She was angry at it. She hated the movie.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, don't be a shitty person. So I forgot to mention it earlier. Justine had given her flute necklace to a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
So now Justine's tied up and she's asking for help from this little kid.
Yeah.
So this little kid unties her. So she ends up getting free. But she this is the worst part. So the lady that was like bathing her and painting her and stuff, she's there. She's like this big old lady, but she's got this piercing through her nose, and Justine rips that shit out.
Oh, fuck, that's gotta hurt.
I just can't. Oh. Ouch.
Oh.
Anyway, so she goes to save Daniel. And he just wants to die because you said his bones were broken. He got
imagine the amount of pain
ants.
because these are the ants that Eli Roth was talking about, the Azula ants,
right? But Justine just can't do it. She's much of a pussy or whatever. So the little kid just does it for her.
Oh man, this little kid's like straight up cold. Not really cold. He kind of blows the dust in his face,
so he passes out, and then
he cuts his throat.
And Alejandro is in the cage and he's yelling and he says he wants saved. And Justine just kind of stands there. She's like, I'm not going to fucking help you. Like, fuck you.
Yeah, I'm good.
And so he starts yelling to alert the other people. So Justine runs off and she is faced with two tribe members trying to get her and a black leopard.
And earlier in the movie, they ran into a black leopard, and one of the guys said, Carlos, who meets an unfortunate end in the plane wreck, he said something about like it being an omen, like a dark omen and stuff like that. So
right. So she's like, do I go past this leopard or do I go back to the cannibals?
I think I'm going to take my chances with the leopard because I feel like the leopard's going to kill you real quick.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. So she makes it away from that, and she runs into the militia gunning down the tribe members. So she jumps out and tells them that she's filming them. Oh, because she had grabbed the phone from Daniel's pocket. He said, "Take my phone," or take the phone, whatever. Yeah. And she says she's filming them, and they end up taking her. Like they stop doing what they're doing, and they're like, "Oh shit!" Like. And basically, she says she'll stop filming them if they help her. It's kind of what she does. She like breaks the phone.
Stop doing what you're doing and give me. Yeah.
And like.
Yeah. Because also like what's kind of, you spent all this time with these cannibal tribes and for some reason you still feel fucked up that they're getting gunned down.
Right.
Like, it's kind of upsetting.
It was really sad.
It is. And you're like, oh. All they were doing was eating these little fuckers. Like, I was fine with it.
Right. So they take her to a helicopter. And then as they're flying overhead, she sees how many of these tribe members got killed and she's upset. Mm-hmm. So she ends up going home and she's meeting like with her dad and probably other people of the UN, I guess. That's what I assume.
Yeah.
Or maybe the school people. I don't fucking know. And she tells the people that the tribe helped her and that everyone else had died in the crash.
Yeah.
She doesn't tell them anything about the cannibalism or anything.
Yeah.
Because they ask her about it and she's like, no, they weren't cannibals. They were good people.
Yeah, because she's trying to protect him, which is like kind of just stay away from him. Leave him alone.
Right. Yeah. Right. So back in her dorm, she's asleep and she has this dream that she sees Alejandro at the school and she bites him and kills him.
This part threw me for a loop because you didn't know it was a dream at first. But like...
Right. So, then the movie's over.
Yeah, and then did you see so you see out in the courtyard they're protesting and stuff like that, and they have the shirt of Alejandro on him. Yeah,
yes,
so he's kind of a martyr now.
Fucking like,
yeah,
dick.
So that's what I mean by you don't want these people to necessarily die.
Right. I see what you mean now.
Yeah.
So after the credits, Justine, there's a little short thing, and it says whatever. Justine gets a call from Alejandro's sister, and she said that they found this satellite photo of him and that they need to talk because she says they were all dead, but Alejandro's not dead.
I didn't like this.
I felt like
it's the
set
only
it up
thing.
for a sequel.
Yeah, it's the only thing I don't like about this movie is this right here. I did not need this. I don't need a sequel setup.
No.
If you want to make a sequel, you could have. It wouldn't have fucking mattered. They made Cannibal Holocaust 2. They like, so you could have come back. I didn't need this stupid stinger. This is a dumb scene.
I agree because we didn't know what happened to Alejandro. We could assume that what happened, but they could have made another movie without this little part right here.
Yeah.
About Alejandro, if he lived or died or whatever.
I just find... I didn't need a sequel stinger.
No.
It's pretty dumb. It's the only thing I don't like about this movie. But the rest of it I do. Now, the Green Inferno opened to around 1,500 theaters. It didn't do terrible, but it also didn't do great. I think it made like $12 million against its $5 million budget.
That is a lot of money. Anyway.
It did good. It did just fine.
Right.
It wasn't terrible. But I think this one is a bit unfairly judged. I don't run across a lot of people who like this movie.
Right.
It's not too many. Like I do. I'm not saying they're not out there. Of course there are. There's a bunch of fucked up people like me. But that's the thing. You don't have to be fucked up to like this movie, I feel. This is almost more of an adventure movie with a ton of gore.
Right. Absolutely.
And I'm not sure exactly what the issue is then, besides maybe like, the gore, maybe that and its relationship to the malign cannibal movies of the 70s and 80s. A lot of people don't enjoy those movies. Of course, also the controversy that it had didn't help much because I remember when this came out, people were like, oh, it's appropriation or, they started throwing away all the buzzwords that didn't make any sense. And it's like, why don't you watch the movie?
Right.
Because this movie technically isn't these kind of the indigenous people.
Right.
This definitely doesn't feel like that.
No.
You know what I mean? Just like Cannibal Holocaust didn't feel like that. I don't know if you remember that, but like,
I didn't feel that way.
Yeah, I did not feel that way. It was more anti-white people going to different countries.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's anti-outsider. It's more pro leave these people alone and let them do their thing.
My ankle bracelet moved and I thought something was touching me.
We've been talking about bugs this entire time. But of course, like that didn't help, as well as the accusations of harmful stereotypes and stuff like that. But as Eli Roth puts it, a movie is not going to give these people who destroy homes and rainforests a reason to do it. No Hollywood movie is going to change their mind about that because they already have their reasons. And typically it's natural resources. Like
that's what they did in this movie. They were going to harvest oil.
Yeah. And oil. Yeah. And so like, they don't care. They don't care who is living there. Like it's not going to persuade them one way or the other.
Right.
But I love this movie, if you couldn't tell. And yes, I've been a fan of Eli Roth for the longest time. And I don't know, his movies vibe with me and I enjoy it. I find it kind of weird that he is so disliked by a lot of horror fans.
Yeah, that is weird.
It is really weird because I know you haven't seen a lot of his movies, but I mean, from Cabin Fever to this, it kind of gives you an idea of what he does. I feel like.
Right.
And so I don't get the hate for him too much. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like Rob Zombie because I see a lot of people who are like, it's just something about some of these directors, right? That just rubs people the wrong way for some reason. When it's like, but you like fucking this movie. You like Brain Scan from this and something. You like all these other cheesy, bad horror movies and stuff, but you're not. It seems like you would love this movie.
Right.
And you would love the director that's making this, but they don't. And I always find it
because people love to hate people.
I guess so. It's really weird. And another thing is like, I feel like they haven't really, I don't believe people online when they say they've watched a movie. I don't think I believe people anymore because there's some of the reviews and stuff that are coming out where it's like, well, you clearly didn't watch this movie.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. It's a fascinating little thing because I find Eli Roth's movies great. You know, I think he's a very versatile director. He's one of these guys that doesn't like being called a horror master or a horror director.
Maybe that's why people don't like him.
It could be, you know, because he's not shitting on the horror genre, but he also, I mean, he was making like little animated comedy shorts before he got going, before Cabin Fever. You know, so he's done other things. He's made a children's movie, The House with the Clock on the Walls and stuff with Jack Black. So like he is a versatile director. He does other things.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but he's one of these guys that doesn't like being called a horror director or anything like that, even though he's really good at it. Well, to me, but yeah, I guess really it comes down to Eli Roth being a very specific taste.
Right.
You know, it's a very specific taste of movies that if you don't like it, you're never going to enjoy any of his stuff, I think. It's kind of like Quentin Tarantino. You know, I feel like if you don't like one Quentin Tarantino movie, you're probably not going to like any of them.
That's true.
It's a one or none kind of thing. But
so wait, I have a question.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Does this movie make your perfect list?
If you exnate that stupid ass stinger scene,
yeah,
sure, it does make my perfect list because even I don't see the negatives people come at me with because I get a lot of people who are saying, well, the acting's just terrible. I'm like, I don't agree. I was like, sure,
either.
Maybe a few people like Alejandro is a little bit on the Snidely Whiplash of villains. You know, he's a little bit kind of over the top, but I think I don't know, it's fine. But that's like discounting the tribes, you know, the native people, you know, the Kalaluka.
Right.
Like fucking that's discounting them. I think they're the best actors in this entire movie.
And they ain't never acted.
Yeah, and I think they do a fantastic job. But yeah, whether you you know what? I'll throw it on the perfect list just for the sheer fact of what it looks like. This movie, like I said, I can't get over the cinematography. It is fucking gorgeous because whether you love this movie or not, you have to agree that the cinematography is art in this movie. It's great. Yeah. You just don't see it much anymore too, you know, in any movie. I mean, the big spectacle movies like this just aren't made very often anymore. Yeah. These big adventure kind of movies. I know it's a horror movie, but it's also kind of that adventure kind of realistic looking adventure movie. And you just don't see it anymore because you have Marvel movies that take up most of the action film slots. Oh, yeah. And those are all shot on green screen studios. So you don't get a lot of this anymore, which is kind of sad. And so like to go back and watch these kind of films, you're like, wow, people took the time. He got a camera out in this fucking shit and he shot this thing. And because like, you know, you got like Lost that's shot on a studio in Hawaii, like it's supposed to take place in a deserted island, but they don't go there. Oh my God. It's all sound stages. But enough about me. Let's see what you thought of The Green Inferno.
So I really liked it. Yeah. I like a movie. Okay. Well, first of all, I didn't think I was going to like it, but obviously I had to do it for this podcast. Yeah. If I would have watched this outside of this podcast, I would have turned it off. It was boring.
It is. It's a little slow to get started because like I said, he puts all that exposition like right up at the front.
Did not care for it.
Yeah. Cause if you're, I could see that. Like, cause if you're fresh to this movie, you could be like, wow, this is not doing anything.
Nothing is
like
happening.
We're just talking about activism for the fucking.
I would have walked out of a movie theater.
I understand.
So anyway, but that second half, man, after that plane crash, that gets me, and it won me over.
Yeah, because once it starts, because you're lulled into like, wow, this is kind of. It's kind of not going anywhere. And then that fucking engine blows up and old dude gets a fucking tree through the face. And you're like, whoa, okay.
Okay, I can watch this a little bit longer. And then all this other stuff happens. Yeah, it was great.
Spectacular plane crash, by the way. You don't see that anymore either.
It was way better than the Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah. You don't see a lot of good plane crashes in movies much.
Yeah. Oh, those prop planes, man. Don't fuck with those.
Fuck that.
But it was great. I liked it. After the second half, I love a good gore. I do love a good gory movie, and I love this not panning away. from the gore.
Yeah, because like I said, it's very gratuitous, but it's not at the same time. I don't know. He found with his movies, his gory movies, he has found some kind of little place to stay with where it's like
it's a good timing
line. Yeah. To where it's not
too long.
Yeah, it's not too much where you're like, okay.
But then and I liked that the girl that ran off in the canoe, we didn't see her die. I liked the good mix of that. Yeah, because you can tell like a lot of his scares and stuff like that and stuff that like makes your stomach drop it's a lot like comedic timing. Yeah. You know? Like he's got good timing. Yeah, he set up a punchline with that. Like yes. I liked it a lot. Would I watch it again? Absolutely. Maybe starting at the second half, but that's okay. It is. I agree. The second half is the best. Once the plane wrecks and stuff like that. Like that's what I would tell people if you're starting this movie and you're a little bored at front. At least get to the plane wreck. Because once you're there, once that plane crashes, this movie does not stop. Right. This thing keeps fucking with you this entire time. Does not let up. That's what you want from me. Oh, definitely. But that's the Green Inferno. From 2013, man. I had a good time talking about this. It's been a long time coming. I've been wanting to talk about this for a long time because, again, I just feel like it's overly hated. It gets a lot of hate, and I'm not really sure why. I don't understand it. It's a gorgeous movie. I feel like it'd be a lot more popular in the horror crowd than it is, and it's not. So it's a very perplexing movie to me, It's going to be a little weird next week. We're not exactly sure what kind of movie what kind of episode's going to drop because Brittany is going, she's for a work trip. So she's going to be gone for a little while. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so she's going to be gone a little while. So we're either, one of two things is going to happen. I'm either going to have a special guest on. Or maybe a special guest on, or I'm gonna pull one of our episodes from Patreon out of the vault for you guys to hear, a little preview of one of our things. But other than that, man, this has been a blast talking about this movie. And Brittany will be back the next following week, so don't worry, she's not leaving forever. She'll be on Shooting the Shit. I don't know. Brittany quit. I quit life. We got a cat. What did you think about this movie, Talking Cat? I thought it was good. Why did you think it was bad? Anyway, so yeah, until next week, like I said, I'm not exactly sure what that's going to look like, but it will happen. And by the way, with me doing movies and stuff, there are going to be times where we're going to have little breaks like this where we're gonna have to take it because we're just doing other things. But thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. If you've been a listener for this fucking long, good on you. You deserve a medal. But anyway, I'm Lee Evans saying stay spooky, and I'm Brittany. Stay horrific. Bye. Thanks for listening. To get a hold of us and submit your stories, fan mail, and death threats, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and nightoftehorrorfile.com. Our theme song was written and performed by John Brennan, used with permission. Find John at shopjb.bandcamp.com and at badtechno.com. If you like what you hear, leave a good review wherever you listen to podcasts, and share the show on your social media. See you next week.